lovelies, welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Stranad. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel or turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. Alright lovelies, let's dive in today's video. So lovelies, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok and I thought to share with you guys where these Arab, slash Palestinian people are actually calling upon people that look like me and telling them not to blame them for the outcome of the election, and they should blame other people that voted for, Kpe.Ple. And this got a lot of people reacting because people actually stitched her video. I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of the stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. Alright lovelies, let's dive into it.
A lot of y'all on my timeline are blaming Arab voters who voted third party for Kamala's loss, saying things like, I'm gonna go to Starbucks tomorrow. You do you, but let me explain to you how if every single third-party voter voted for Kamala, she still would have lost, because the problem was not Arab voters, it was the millions and millions of Trump supporters in America who voted for Trump, and those are the people you should be angry at. Let's look at this together. Donald Trump got 72,550 million votes. Kamala Harris got 67,861 million votes, and the third-party candidates got a combined 1.25 million votes. If we add this 1.25 million votes into 67 million votes, she still would have around 69/70 million votes. 2 million votes short of the popular vote. And that is if every single third-party voter voted for Kamala. Now let's look at the Electoral College. Donald Trump won 295 Electoral College votes. Kamala Harris won 226 Electoral College votes. If you further break it down to all of the states that are battleground states, meaning they could be either Republican or Democrat, you could see that even if all of these states' third-party voters voted for Kamala, the only state she would have won was Wisconsin. And even if she won Wisconsin, it would only give her 10 Electoral College votes. And if we look back to our original page, 10 Electoral College votes would leave him at 285 and would leave her at 236. And she still would have lost the election. In almost every state, even with every single third-party vote, he still beat her. Because the problem is not Arab voters not voting for her because she supported our genocide. It is because this country is inherently racist. And there are millions of fascists who would rather see a convicted felon in office. Not saying that I wanted Kamala or Trump to win. I didn't want either of them to win, and I refused to be complicit in genocide, which is why I voted third party. But this shows you that if even every single third party voter in this entire country voted for Kamala, she still would have lost, because it's not the third party's fault, it is the Trump supporters' fault. So all of you go enjoy your Starbucks and McDonald's tomorrow. But I hope you can eventually come to terms with the fact that we're not the reason she lost. And before anyone says it's not because of third-party voters, it's because of the people that didn't vote, I have multiple videos on my page telling people that they have to vote. So that one's not on me. Take that up with them.
This girl irks me to no end, and this argument that we know there's not enough Green Party people or Muslim Americans who have turned the vote. The point is that you guys poisoned the well so much that now there's a rift. If y'all would have shown some, maybe even in the last final hour, be like, you know what, we're gonna show some solidarity, and those numbers showed that even though she lost, that you guys were lockstep with us and that we could have had some moral support, you guys probably would have had black people, black women specifically, back on your side. But you going around making this argument saying, see, it's not our fault, it's not our fault, the point is that you guys poisoned the well so much that it's damage is irreversible at this point. The damage is done. You guys got what you wanted. She lost. So it's I don't know what you want to relitigate about this anymore. And yes, a lot of these creators saying, oh, we're going back to Starbucks, we don't really care about the genocide anymore, y'all got it, is pretty disgusting. But y'all have shown us that you don't care about our issues either. So emotions are high right now, and things are being said that maybe people will regret in, a week or so. But some things are transactional, and y'all showed us that the road only goes one way.
I don't know if you know this, and I'm not going to hold your hand when I say it, but that third party, that Jill lady, is a Zionist. Number two, Trump said with his whole chest, hurry up and finish off your country so he could turn that place into a resort. And lastly, he wants to ban and deport Muslims from living in America. Y'all best bet at getting out of this was going for it and voting for Kamala, because she said, and y'all can go look this up for yourselves, but she had sat there and said that although she is pro-Israel defending itself, she also wants to seize and stop the violence that's going on in Gaza and Palestine and etc. But y'all went ahead and voted a man into office that wants to deport y'all from this country. Anyways.
You seem to be throwing around a couple words that are farther from the truth. One, Trump supporters aren't racist. That's a CNN talking point, and you're just parroting it. The fact is, Trump got more minority votes this time because he does want what's best for the United States of America, which is what, as president, is his concern. His concern is not the Gaza Strip. His concern is not Palestine. Now, just like all of the rest of us, he does want peace. And he will make it happen. And then you drop the word fascist. You apparently do not know what true fascism is. Do some research on Mussolini. You might learn a little bit. Hitler was a fascist. Hitler was a socialist democrat. Educate yourself. Because the fact is, you're right in everything else you say. Just stop calling people names. We're not fascists. Not at all. In fact, the Democrat Party aligns more with fascism just based on their violence and rhetoric, their riots when something doesn't go their way. The threats that have been made to a specific president-elect over the last 48 hours. So, yeah, who's the fascists? It's definitely not the Republicans or the conservatives.
Why do you have to make a video trying to justify the reasons that the white, and I'll stay in my lane, the white Palestinian movement didn't vote for Kamala Harris? Are you feeling guilty now? I just have to ask, is the guilt starting to become a reality? Because I promise you, there's a lot of people that are not going to let you forget what happened here. Last November, when all of you started your morality tour, right, and said that you weren't going to vote for Joe Biden, you called him Genocide Joe and all this horse shit, and then whenever President Biden stepped down and the vice president took the reins, you all were anti-black and internalized misogynistic. And trying to explain yourself here, that's what this is. It's all to satisfy and comfort you in the big ass mistake you're going to have to live with. We're all going to have to live with. Black women once again stepped up to save this country with no thanks from us. And I don't care if you voted for her or not. There's no thanks from us. In 2016, 52% of white women did not vote for Hillary Clinton. 2020, it was about 54%. 2024, it's over 56%. And including the white folks who decided that their morality tour was more important than the savior of this democracy and everyone in it. So miss me with this, because this is just to make you comfortable. That's all.
Your endeavors, black women, it is peppermint mocha time. Ask Starbucks.
Oh, that's Maya. I've heard so much about you. If you really care about Palestine, that's just how. It's called Gaza Found. A mother discovering a child in the rubble caused by IOF devastation. Oh, you're talking about third party. You encourage people not to vote for Kamala. Lots of pro-Palestinian supporters, allegedly. But it turns out I understand what you was doing now. You saw that Bissan needed your help. You saw the children of Palestine needed your help. You told them all to go fuck themselves because you were paid by Israel. How do I know this? Let me show you something. Look how happy they are.
Sit here and bring up other Arab voters to devolve yourself from being held accountable. People aren't blaming other Arab voters. They are, however, specifically holding you accountable and tagging your ass. Because you were the main one who sat here and disencouraged people to not vote for Kamala Harris. You the one who sat here and said that if you vote for Kamala Harris, you pretty much don't give a fuck about the Palestinians. So now you have Trump, which is 10 times worse than Kamala Harris. You got what you wanted. Kamala's not in office. You got what you wanted. So you can go ahead and toss that number chart, sweetie. I don't know why you're trying to sit here and explain yourself to people. You made your bed, now lie in it. Kamala's not in office. You got your fucking wish. Mazel tov.
The topic of solidarity between black folks and Palestinians has existed since the inception of the State of Israel and the Nakba, and the issue of black and Palestinian liberation not only mirror each other but are inextricably linked in their histories. Support for the freedom of Palestinians has been an element of the Black Panther Party, of the Black Lives Matter movement, of the ending of apartheid in South Africa. Nelson Mandela, after his release from prison in 1990, embraced Yasser Arafat. In 1997, he said, "We know our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of Palestinians." In the 1950s, Malcolm X was one of the first black Americans to show support for the Palestinian cause and said black Americans would show complete sympathy with the Arab cause. Several months before his assassination, he visited the Gaza Strip and was completely critical of Israel. The Black Panther Party considered black Americans to be internally colonized and stated that black Americans and Palestinians were essentially treated as third world peoples who were oppressed by colonialism and imperialism together. In more recent history, in 2014, in the Ferguson Uprising, Palestinians online showed support, expressed solidarity, and offered advice to protesters in Ferguson. And there were chants that gained prominence at this time. From Ferguson to Palestine, occupation is a crime. These liberation movements have been linked for decades. And this is one of the first times that we're seeing such a divide where we're being told that our values don't align with one another, and that is not the case. Both of these groups are aware that we're in a lose-lose situation with this current election. On one hand, we have Trump, who we are very aware is not good for Palestinians or for black Americans. And on the other hand, we have Kamala Harris, who has also proven that she is not good for Palestinians or black Americans. And we're sitting here so incredibly divided over what the right answer is when there's no clear answer for anybody. It doesn't turn out good for anybody. I mean, I have seen so much division on this app in the last couple of days. I think we need to sit down and have more open and honest conversations about how this election cycle impacts different minority communities. What they are afraid of is our unity. And we talk so much about harm reduction. I think the most harm reductive thing we could do is put our collective voices together and use them to pressure her campaign to actually vote in the interests of the American people, to adopt policies that we want to see on our ballots, rather than just blindly following her platform as it is currently. We can say say we intend to vote for Kamala Harris, but demand that she do better for Palestinians and for Black Americans.
Which is why your lecturing of Black folks and how we choose to support the Palestinian cause irks us and ticks a lot of us off at levels beyond the highest levels of pissosity, right? Black folks have historically shown the world how to resist, how to fight, how to organize, how to demand, how to win struggles, more importantly. And then that same world that we have showed all these lessons to proceed to lecture us, right? On how we show support and on our support. And a lot of this is led by white liberals. They love to do this. They love to do this. And the white liberals in the Gaza resistance movement, you know, have some kind of way, grab Palestinian activists of color, activists from that part of the world who are attending American universities or live in our communities. They somehow like captured them and brought them into their echo chamber to then point fingers and give us moral lessons about what Black people ought to do and how we don't understand struggle and how we are, I don't know, going against our history and learn life lessons. And the reason why I point my finger at white liberals first, and then sort of the followers, subordinates, the bootlicking supplicants who then follow their lead from the Palestinian side, is I remember the Bernie bros in 2020, who when Black folks in South Carolina decided they were going to support Joe Biden over Bernie Sanders, the attacks on Jim Clyburn, calling him an idiot, calling Black people low intelligence voters in South Carolina, saying that they were voting against their own interests and how Black people just don't understand struggle. They don't understand that Bernie Sanders was the best candidate for Black people. As if we couldn't make this decision up ourselves, that we couldn't decide what was in our best interest, that we couldn't look at the history of both Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders and make an educated decision and choice, but that some kind of way we've been mystified and turned around. It's the same kind of stuff I meet when I meet, you know, white liberals who send their kids to private school or send their kids to all kinds of parochial schools who want to deny choice options for poor parents of color and tell them you have to send your kid to the neighborhood school, even though it's been failing for 60, 70, 80 years. You're not going to have any choices. And there are people who actually get paid and make money from the white liberal side to actually advocate that. They cash those checks and then put that into their account and then write a check from that account to send their own kids to private school or live in communities where the traditional district public schools actually are working because it's a well-to-do community. The hundreds of thousands of dollars they make telling me and my people, you have to send your kids here. It's that elitism. It's that I know better than you. It's follow me, and to hell with thee, right? And the sad part about it is the Palestinians are now reaping what they sow. I mean, and I don't mean the Palestinians as a people. I mean those who are involved in the Gaza resistance movement, that Black people joined, that Black people helped to let other Black people know what's going on, that contributed money to NGOs, right, to help people on the ground in Gaza. I still give money to on the ground services for people who are trying to help those in Gaza. But again, the people in that movement, led by white elitists, and then elitist Palestinians and Arab folks trying to lecture us about who we are and not knowing the history of Black people to the Palestinian movement, ignoring Malcolm X, ignoring the Black Panther Party, ignoring Nelson Mandela's embrace of Yasser Arafat and the PLO, ignoring the whole Pan-Africanist movement, which includes a two-state solution and the restoration of all rights to Palestinians. The fight that a number of pundits out here right now are fighting, that happen to be African American, for your voices to be heard. To slap us in the face, to lecture us, and then now to go to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, a Black woman who you all rallied against, disrupted rallies, never did that to Donald Trump, never went to any of his rallies, never went to any of his campaign stops, and did anything of the like, to now then say it is on Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to save us from Donald Trump is laughable. And you are losing allies. I, for one, will continue to give money on the ground to people who need it in Gaza and to NGOs that are helping the situation, but I will not be in any marches. I will not be putting out anything to support this movement. You all don't know politics. You all don't know how to organize. You don't know how to keep your friends with you. You certainly don't understand real politics, and you're reaping what you sow. And I'm sorry to see that it happened, but you didn't teach us a lesson. You just doomed your family, your friends, the people that you seek to represent. You just doomed them to 2 years of basically walking in the wilderness and not having a two-state solution, and basically looking at the prospects of being annexed by Israel. Shame on you. Shame on you. And shame on you for trying to tell us we don't know what we're doing when we actually gave you the blueprint to do what you're doing, and you went against your blueprint, and it's not our fault. And we're not taking the blame for it. Continue to support those in Gaza that are suffering. Continue to call out Hamas. And continue to call out the atrocities of Israel. But also shout out to the Israel people who want a two-state solution, who want to get rid of Netanyahu. Shout out to those Palestinians who want to get rid of Hamas and come to the middle to find a solution and a ceasefire and a return to hostages in a way that makes sense for everybody. Shout out to those people who are realists, pragmatists, and are trying to solve a problem instead of getting on a soapbox to lecture people who are part of your coalition.
But seriously, lovelies, the fact remains that Kpe.Ple people actually contributed with the outcome of whatsoever thing that happened. No matter how she wants to paint it, analyze it, try to bring up some kinds of analysis, that does not actually dispute the fact that some Propile people contributed with the outcome of this. It's just that she actually brought this up in the sense that a lot of people are regretting, and in the sense that people that looks like me are actually choosing to choose themselves, even if it's something that they were supposed to do for a very long time. No, I wouldn't blame them for that, but the thing is that they, one way or the other, contributed. I wouldn't forget one stage that I staged here on this platform. That was before the election, where there is a certain campaign that was launched. These guys decided to actually leave the important thing that they were supposed to be doing, especially the research methodologies, or the other thing that they were supposed to do pro to election, but they actually used this concluded election as a form of getting back or sending a message. You are sending a message to someone who might probably be of help to you. I will not forget that Abandon Harris campaign that was introduced by people of her own, Propile people. And they decided to use it as a means of punishment, as a means of sending a message. Like, I really understand that if you're in a distress, or if you are suffering, or you find yourself in a kind of situation that you are probably doing anything to get yourself out from that situation, I really understand that aspect. Like, maybe some of these pro people are all out because of what is happening in Palestine and in Gaza, so they will just do undo to get people's attention, or to even get the government attention to do something. They will do undo, but the thing is that they actually overdid it. They actually overdid it. People were in support of them. People are ready, especially people that looks like me as well too. Black women. They were in support of you guys. They are also advocating for you guys. And don't even forget that during that period of Kpe.Ple, the same thing was happening in Congo. But people took it upon themselves to support you, to advocate for you, I could also remember the case of ICG when, people get to like, okay, due to the way at every other person stood by you. I could also remember the case of South Africans standing for you guys, doing everything in their possible best to make sure that you guys have what they call Cs, I don't want to pronounce the remaining word. They made sure they did their best, tried their best, but when the election was approaching, a lot of people, began to think and also think about the well-being of every other person, especially the well-being of, minorities and all of that. People begin to do what they know that might actually help the situation that is happening in both in Kpe.Ple, in Congo, and in Sudan. Nobody is saying that, the both parties are perfect. Nobody is saying that they are super perfect. But the thing is that if you are left with two choices, you just have to make your own research. You have to take your time to actually choose the one you feel that might be lesser, or might actually do something concerning what is happening in Kpe.Ple. But what did your people do? Your people were thinking that, people that look like me are actually the problem, because they were like, okay, why not we do this? Why don't we go for blue? She might probably do something, compared to the one that don't even care anymore, that don't care, that don't want to, But no, you guys actually use that avenue to send a message. Instead of your people to, show some kind of support that will make every other person to come out in full force, but you went ahead to launch an abandoned, campaign. What do you think will happen? A lot of people will be like, oh yeah, this is actually true, let's just abandon. You are abandoning someone that might help you to someone that you don't know. They say that, like, oh my goodness. And now, because of the way at which things had turned out to be, people are getting so many FA and FO. Now, I think you are having a little bit of remorse. I could vividly remember this lady. She is the same person that actually came for a black woman that looks like me, that was trying to tell people the reason why she feel that, okay, everyone should she's not even telling people to, she was like, she feel that herself, we want to go, ahead and vote for Kamala Harris because she feels that she is lesser evil than, that was how she put it. But this lady in question, this Arab woman in question was like, oh my God, you are the problem. Why will you say that? She is the one that is to be blamed with what is happening in Kpe.Ple. Like, but this black woman was just saying, like, stating the obvious. Like, if you are left with two choices, you have to make your own research and try to see if there is a way you can, then that was how all of these anti-blackness with power people and people that look like me all started. They started because of her, because of what she has to like. And now she's all out with all of the calculations and trying to make people not to, she was like, do not blame them. No, you guys actually blamed as well, because if you don't go ahead with all of those abandon or trying to make people say that, oh, this is actually the reason why whatsoever thing that is happening in Kpe.Ple is happening, maybe something might even change. But now you have seen the repercussion, and a lot of people are withdrawing their support. People now are facing their own personal problems. A lot of people have personal problems. A lot of people, have things that they have to about their own self. But no, they chose to abandon whatsoever that is wrong with them, even the one that is happening in Congo, and focus more on you in order to see if something good might come about. What did you do? Or because they chose to maybe do or actually voted for someone that they felt might actually do something. But no, all you did was to launch some kind of campaign, and every other person was just, oh my goodness, was just all over it. And this is the result. Everybody is finding out the hard way. People are finding out the hard way, and you are here trying to, I don't know, maybe you are being remorseful, or maybe you are beginning to see what people that looks like you have been trying to see for a very long time. And you are all out here with your calculations and looking for whoever not to blame. Like seriously, the same people that look like you actually came out to tell people, if you ever voted for, do not. If you ever voted for, she said, if you ever voted for Kamala Harris, you should forget about any form of support you are giving to poor people. Like, why would you even say such a thing? And you know that majority of those people that actually voted for her are the ones fighting your own cause. Seriously, lovelies. This is just too much. And now, look at it. Anyway, lovelies, when I saw this, I decided that I might actually just put it up here. Because at this point, it's just a point at which people just have to accept all of the happiness in faith, look for a means or a way at which you can balance whatsoever that you feel that is going to help you navigate the rest of the years. And I actually pray that at the end of the day, all of this thing will just be a dream, and people will just have to everything will work out well. I hope everything works out well at the end of the day. Anyway, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. If you have not subscribed to this channel or to this extent, please do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one. If I've watched up to this extent, thank you so much for watching. Why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So please subscribe to this channel, leave your thoughts, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.